Let's talk about the first time we ever see Jamie Fraser on our screens because the way the show introduces him is brilliant. As always, this will have spoilers for the books and the TV show, so if you are looking to avoid those, please do keep on scrolling. So technically, the first time that we see Jamie Fraser is when Frank spots him outside of Claire's window looking up at her in the rain. He is walking back to the bed and breakfast after yet another time with Reverend Wakefield, and he spots this man on the street in the rain, and it's Jamie's ghost, something that's been confirmed by Diana Gabaldon, the author. And if you watch the show, this is a very pivotal moment because we're still waiting to figure out what's going on with this situation in the books and in the show. But his appearance here and in this way sets the tone for the show that Jamie is already tied to Claire in ways that neither of them fully understand yet. But this is the first time we actually get to see a living, breathing Jamie Fraser in the show for the very first time. And this is when Myrta brings Claire to the cottage that the rest of the men are hiding out in after saving her from Blackjack Randall. Now, I missed this the very first time I watched the show years ago, but as I've done more rewatches, this composition and the shot composition here is one of my very favorite parts of this episode, and I want to explain why. Because Outlander on the whole, I think, is one of the very few shows that I found consistently pays attention to these small details and frames their shots in such beautiful ways that I don't think you're realizing impact your impression about what's being shown to you on screen. And then when you watch it back again and you can spot these little details, I think it just adds to the brilliance of the show. Claire is standing between Myrta and Dougal here, and the framing positions Jamie directly in between the two of them and underneath Dougal's arm. This is so subtle but so intentional because it immediately places a lot of the power dynamic onto Dougal here because he's in front of Jamie and he has his hands on Claire. And Jamie is under Dougal's authority at this point, but at the same time, Jamie gets put in between the two of them because we're going to get reinforcement that Jamie is already becoming the link for Claire into this world that she's fallen into. And then over here on Claire's right and Jamie's right is Myrta. And it's like he's already her and Jamie's right-hand man, which we do know he becomes as the season goes forward and the show as a whole goes forward. But I think this is significant because he doesn't even know Claire yet, but he is in that protective position in her life and in the framing of this scene. Now, Jamie in this scene is hurt. He's been injured, but his first words to Claire are very kind and direct, and he tells her it's not that bad. And you just immediately get this sense that he's different from the men that she's been interacting with so far. She's met Blackjack Randall, Dougal, and Myrta, and none of them have been kind to her yet. And again, that is so that he is set apart from the rest of the players in the show, and that you get this feeling that he is the person that Claire is going to be interacting with moving forward. I just think the blocking, the lighting, the framing, it's all done so intentionally to tell you exactly who Jamie is now and also how he will fit into Claire's story. Now that she's been transported back into this time, he's going to be the person that she clings to moving forward. And we get all of that without them saying it to us or explaining it directly. Now, I think a lot of people, when they think of their first impression of Jamie in this episode, they probably think about him and Claire on horseback or him looking up at Claire after he falls off the horse in the middle of the night. They might think about him with the blood on his face, showcasing that he is a warrior and the strength that he has, and also how he competes with Claire's feistiness in a very compelling way. Or you might think of this scene first when you think of Jamie and Claire in this episode, and their, again, power dynamic that they share between the two of them at the end when he tells her, "You're coming with me." But I do honestly think it's brilliant that this positioning and placing him at the center of the story with Claire and Dougal and Myrta is brilliant. I just find this to be genius storytelling. So let me know, did you notice this the first time you watched the episode?